Let's see here. Let's see here. All right. Wait. How's this go? I don't know where my buttons are, but I'm trying something right now. All right. What's up, fight fans? We are back with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Let's go. Let's see if this works. If my sound effects are kicking in, I have to know. Hold on a second. Damn, they're not working right now. All right, hold on. Hold on. Why isn't it not working? All right, hold on. Okay, what do I have to do? Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, all right. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry for the little delay. Uh, I'm just trying to troubleshoot everything right now and see what. Okay, so if it isn't default, let's see if it plays here like this. Okay, let's see if that works like that. All right, let me see. Come on, baby. Work with me. All right, let's see if this works. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I needed to do this on the live because I don't know how to do it the other way. Sorry for the delay, but I did it work or not? Damn. Come on, man. Work. What up? Super boxing number one, huh? All right, let's get right into it. Sorry about that. I guess I have a little bit more work to do in connecting the software. Uh, it wasn't as easy as I thought. So, but I will get this going. I already got the equipment. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. On my back. Sorry if you heard that. But Super Boxing number one. Let's talk about this. All right. Weekend recap. We got a lot to talk about here. Round one sports talk. Tank Davis, Devin Haney, you name it. A lot of fights are starting to be announced. It's a lot of fights. Devin, and Tank. Let's see what happens. But as far as Super Boxing goes, I think that Super Boxing is down real bad. Real bad. And Jayo Pataya woke up this morning not the cruiserweight champion of the world. That's how bad Super Boxing is down. That if Super Boxing is supposed to be the next best thing, why doesn't that belt mean anything? That Super belt. It's just a hubcap, right? And the design in the belt itself is where they failed, I believe, too. Not only trying to sell you that super belt as a world championship with no credibility, no history, no legacy, nothing, just a brand new belt, organization. You guys got to kick it off. You got to start somewhere. But where you're not going to start off is off of these belts right here, and they will not allow it. here at Round One Sports Talk, I think I was one of the first people to tell you I got receipts. Go back and watch my live before the Sufa fight even happened with Jayo Pataya. What did I tell you? The boxing public. The IBF will never allow that to happen. Did I not tell you that? And what happened? They didn't let it. They didn't let the IBF and the Sufa belt in the same ring. You can't allow that to happen in a business market. Why? Well, first of all, you can't sell on my block. You can't sell your product on my block. I made this. How you just gonna walk up, diss my product, say my product ain't shit, tell the people that these belts ain't shit, but your belt is the same shit while you standing on the block that I built? Does that make sense? Would you allow that to happen? Would you allow, listen, in a regular business market, if McDonald's opened across the street from Burger King, well, their competition. You understand? That would be a franchise. What's going on in boxing is way different. Boxing is like the Wild Wild West, basically. Boxing is led by aggression. And if you think you're going to set a Burger King across the street from my McDonald's in boxing, you're sadly mistaken. This is not a franchise. This is not a, no. You don't come here and set up here in front of my building. Not in boxing. Hell no. So I already knew by the history of what happened this has happened before in the past. Not once, not twice, not even 3 times. More than that. That there has been many belts, many organizations that threatened to make belts to come against these, and I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. You would have to make your own way. Every other belt that tried to come in and take over the alphabet belt all failed. The only entities that survived during the belt and are still thriving today is because they knew the concept. If you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, join them. WBO, IBO. They got in line. They worked with the alphabets. And then they eventually allowed the WBO in, eventually allowed the IBF in. Because remember, the WBA was the first. The WBC was the second. And all you needed was 2 belts to be undisputed. Then the IBF came, and Marvelous Hagler's era. And people like that, man, made this belt valuable. Here we are in a 3-belt era. 14, 12 years, I forget what the number was. The WBO was in boxing for over 10 years and not recognized as a world championship. And to the day Oscar De La Hoya and B-Hop, Bernal Hopkins, fought to make it a 4-belt era, and B-Hop, Bernal Hopkins, became the first 4-belt era champion. The first. The IBO was moving right along. It's paying its dues. It's getting its champions. It's got a few great champions to wear their belt. They are still not recognized as one of the 4, or now, well, if they were recognized, it would be 5, but they're not recognized as a world title. It's a prestigious belt. Many fighters have had it, but it has to put in its time. You're not going to come in day one. When they try to sell me the fact that on day 1, week 1, fucking Zufa was going to make their belt, what? A real world title? Just because they said so? See, Dana White thought that just because he can go out and buy an IBF champion, that the IBF had to get in the ring. He thought he had checkmate on the belts, Dana White. Dana White said, look, Turkey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get me a guy with a belt. I'm going to go side Jai. He has the IBF. If he fights on, he's got to defend the belt. On that night, we put our Zufa belt in the ring. We give our Zufa belt credibility, because if you're competing for the Zufa belt and for the IBF belt, you're acknowledging the Zufa belt as a world title. When they allow the IBO to compete in the same ring with these belts, they address the IBO for what it is. And the IBO is cool with that. They keep putting in their time. And one day they're going to get in. One day they're going to get in, but they got to put in their work. And I knew it. As a businessman, shit. You think these alphabet organizations built boxing a pro sport, not an amateur. This ain't no rinky dink where you can just bring your champion from any side of the world and bring him in and call him champion. No, this is pro sports. There has to be the major trophy award. There has to be in a pro sport. What are you playing it for? Right? I knew it, and I told you guys, there is no way on God's green earth you can allow that Zufa belt in the ring with the IBF. No sooner that the Zufa said, you know what? Your belt ain't shit. Your belt ain't shit. My belt is the best, because it's going to be signify the best fighting the best. Many people said, yo, Edwin, but he won the Zufa belt and he has the ring belt. So the ring belt says that he's the best. In order to be considered the best in cruiserweight, you would have to take that ring belt from Jayo Pataya. And I was like, wow, guys, you guys ate that right up, huh? Really? You guys believe that shit? Here, let me break it down for you one time real quick and tell me what you think now after I say this. What a coinky dink that the guy that owns the Zufa belt also owns the Ring Magazine side belt. Ring Magazine belt, sorry. Ring Magazine belt and Zufa belt are the same owner. Why wouldn't he tell you that ring belt is important and attach it to the Zufa belt? Because he owns both belts. So the narrative that he's putting out, no matter what, if he couldn't sell you on the fact of the Zufa belt, now all of a sudden the ring belt is better than all of these. That's what you were trying to do with your Zufa belt. And plan B was, if the public doesn't accept the Zufa belt, we're going to push back on the ring belt. But it happens to be that the same people that are telling you all these things about these two individual belts, if you haven't noticed, are owned by the same guy. No wonder he's going to say both his belts are the shit. No wonder he's going to say that the ring belt is the best belt, and in order to be called the man, you got to beat Jayo Pataya. I'm here to tell you that's bullshit, because you can become undisputed without that ring belt. Shit, you can become unified without that ring belt. Let me ask you a question. Was Teofimo Lopez unified world champion at 140? I'll give you a second to dial that in. Was Teofimo Lopez unified at 140? That is my question to you. Chat, boxing chat. Don't let these dudes sucker you in. All right? Was Teofimo Lopez unified at 140? The reason why I keep asking you that is because of this. He had two belts, according to what this guy's telling you from the ring, Turkey. Right? He had the Ring Magazine belt and he had the WBO. Why wasn't Teofimo Lopez considered unified then if he had 2 belts? Why isn't he considered unified? He's only considered a world champion, 1 belt. Why is it that no one that's ever had the ring belt has ever been getting credit for it, but it's a real belt? How's that possible? If you don't get credit for being a unified world champion and you got 2 belts, allegedly, that ring belt does not help you. Where does it help you? It only helps you to fucking popularity. Claiming the fact that you fought the man that beat the man or you fought the best. One guy. It doesn't help you as a world champion. It doesn't help you as unified. You don't need it to be undisputed. Then what the fuck you need it for? Saul Canelo Alvarez does not need the Ring Magazine belt to be undisputed. Neither did Terrence. Neither did Usyk. Neither did Naoya Inoue. Neither did Jamel Charlo. Neither did Josh Taylor. None of them needed that ring belt for nothing. But all of a sudden, it's better than all these belts. Bro, fight fans, take a moment out of your time and recognize that when we come on these channels, not all of us are right. But the one thing why I started this channel, just like most of us, 90% of the guys that started YouTube boxing channel, was to fight against the narratives and the lies that they're putting out on these boxers and situations in boxing. That's why we started this. To get the viewing public their voice, to talk about their favorite fighters, and to keep boxing alive. But when we talk about these narratives that they're putting out, if you're eating the narrative up and arguing it, they got you. They got you. I'm fighting against the curve. I'm fighting against the curve. I'm telling you, listen, and all I'm kicking are facts. I'm not pulling shit out of my ass. I'm telling you exactly the way it is. Do you need that ring to be unified, undisputed? Do you? If that was so, Tio would have got credit and all those fighters would have got credit for that ring belt. It only says one thing. You fought the best, fighting the best. That's what their claim is. But you don't need it. Just like you don't need that Zufa belt. That Zufa belt has a long way to go. A long way. And I knew that. See, Dana White thought he was going to play this fuck shit where he was going to come in and outsmart the boxing gods that have been here for years. Dana White, you might have owned a little boxing gym back in Boston before you got ran out of there, and you went to the UFC and you got into mixed martial arts. You dealt with an entity that you created. You're not coming into an entity that was already created, and you think you're going to change everything. You think you're going to change everything by telling the American public you don't pay sanctioning fees to our belt. What a lie. What a fucking lie. What you mean you don't pay sanctioning fees for the Zufa belt? You want to dress it up somewhat and make it look like something else? Then fine. Let's see what you're paying for. You're not paying sanctioning fees for the belt, but you're selling your soul. All the promotion that you can get, all your sponsorships that you won't get, that the money goes to Zufa. Every time you go on TV, do a commercial that goes to Zufa. That's paying sanctioning fees. They tell you you're not paying sanctioning fees, but you're paying for everything else. They're taking all your extra money from you. In boxing, I pay a sanction fee. I can get sponsored. People can pay me to show up at their fucking birthday party or something or whatever. If Zufa finds out about that, they take that money. Yeah, you don't pay for sanctioning fees for their belt, but they dress it up in another way and take the rest of your money. So you are paying sanction fees for the Zufa belt. It's just a different check, a different bill. It's still a bill. That's just like the Zone told us they were going to give us, cut the pay-per-view away from us. They were going to give us a better deal. These motherfuckers raised the price and added pay-per-views we would have never watched. Just because somebody tells you something, look things through, read the fine print. Dana White, you think you slick? We don't pay sanctioning fee for a belt. The fuck you don't? I think you paying more for that Zufa belt than you paying in real boxing for the sanctioning fees. Because there's no telling how much money I can make in sponsorships. How big I get as a boxer in my star status. The bigger you get, the more money Zufa puts in their pocket. While telling you, you don't pay for our belt. What a crock of shit. What a crock of shit. It seems like the more I look at Zufa, the more they look like a fucking scam. Everything they said, everything they're doing is not what it is. If there was freedom over there and they were building a new sport with structure, a schedule, like I thought, and in the beginning, you know, I welcomed Zufa because I'm not afraid of competition. But the more they started unraveling, the more everything started to be clearer. I said, wait a minute. I said, are you crazy, guys? If Zufa was really free and it was better for us and we weren't paying for sanctioning fees, why is it the minute you sign to them, you sign away your rights to the Muhammad Ali Act law that protects the boxer? The second you walk into Zufa, you're in their boxing organization. You're not protected under the Muhammad Ali Act. You do know that, right? And then you can't even wear what you want or put your sponsors on your trunks. Zufa takes that money. Then you sign. It's just like going over there and signing your soul over for the promise that they'll keep you working. Keep boxing going. They're going to have multiple fights for you a year. Yeah, you're going to get that. You're going to get your paycheck up front. But fuck around and turn into a Ryan Garcia at Zufa. They own all the rights to you. You're not free. You're not free to do and say or act any way you want in Zufa. There's penalties for everything. Have you guys read that shit? In boxing, I pay a sanction. I'm free to do what the fuck I want. I don't even got to fight for a year. Right? And yes, boxing is the Wild Wild West. Yes. It's a little chaotic. We need help. We need more structure, but not like this. Not like this. We needed structure. We needed somebody to come in, you know, but work with what we have. Stop trying to change what we already have. You're literally trying to go to the NBA and change it and have another sport like three-man basketball or something be bigger than the NBA. You should have worked with what you had and fixed the inner workings of boxing rather than trying to put another entity and make it like the UFC. So much, in fact, they failed on that fucking belt miserably. Miserably. And I'm going to get all your chats. What's up, my dude? What's up, Bull Rider? What's up, Frontline? What's up, Malasa? How you doing in the building? When Zufa has all the top fighters, keep this same energy and don't watch, but yet want you. What? Keep the same energy and don't watch, but y'all. Shit. Yo, my man, check this out. Let me put him on the screen. Salute. Yo, check this out. I hope you keep that same energy. All right? Nastek, I hope you keep that same energy. And I would love, as if when I can, I'm going to copy and paste this little message you have here because I want to bring this message back up later in the future because I know you're going to lock in on my show. You're going to lock in because this is the best show on YouTube for boxing. You'll see. I'm not biased and I'm not coming at you. We just playing the game, baby. We're having a conversation, right? Check this out, homeboy. Your little Zufa brand that's gonna get the top fighters in the world and sign all these guys in a minute, keep that same energy. The clock is ticking on Zufa right now as we speak. Give it a week. That shit's gonna close down. Turkey Al-Sheikh owns 60% of Zufa. He owns all of Ring Magazine. He's the one that funnels the money with other outside investors. They're at war right now. Their airport just got bombed. The Turkey prince, the real one, said they cutting ties to hold money back. You really think that boxing's at the top of their priority list to save? To stop pouring money into? You really think Zufa boxing is, oh, yo, you know what? We're at war, Prince, but let's not let Zufa boxing down. Out of all the investments that Turkey's involved in throughout the world, multiple stuff, businesses, besides sport, besides Formula 41, golf, UFC, Turkey's in all that shit. And they're taking and cutting tie, and America is not accepting the money because you know how it went in the Russian war. We weren't even involved in that one. Their citizens couldn't even travel. Banks accounts got frozen. Demetrius Bivol didn't get paid after the Saul Canelo Alvarez fight because he was officially born in Russia. Remember that? Okay. They're at war. Remember the last war, what they tell you? How long it was going to last? Oh, maybe a year. We was out there 12, 13, 14 years. All right? So if you're not watching the news, you like, oh, sue for this, sue for that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That money has already been frozen. Y'all know this, right? Trump ain't letting none of that. Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, I'm not a politician, not qualified really to talk about politics. I'll give my, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one? Peep game. What makes it so bad is the side that Turkey's on, America's not on that side. America is on the other side bombing them. They not on their side. So on top of just business, we actually bombing them. And you think that Zufa, and then if the prince cuts off Turkey, Turkey would have to use his own money in a business that's drowning. The UFC was $44 million in debt with Dana White. Remember that. $44 million with the Fratelli brothers, right? You really think Turkey's going to spend 44 of his own money? If it was the prince's money, sure. When Zufa signs all the top fighters, with what money? Where's it going to come from? He's going to sign what? You think they're going to pay Conor Ben now $15 million? What? Yo, this war that's going on, it's not official. Zufa hasn't panicked. They ain't put out no statement. I'm just reading the landscape. I'm just on the outside like this looking in, saying to myself, hold up. Don't Turkey and them own Zufa? They're the majority shareholders? Oh, and they're at war. Where they gonna say they getting this money from? So time will tell. Time will tell. I tell you right now, I don't think they signing no one anytime soon. So whenever you think Sufa's gonna sign all the best fighters, and they're gonna go over there and fight for that hubcap of a belt that they made that disrespects boxing. The belt Sufa made by itself is a disrespectful belt. The Zufa belt has Zufa on the front of it, real big, boxing that small, right? Then they don't allow you to put any of your history on their belt like we do. Every time you win, your belt gets tricked out. And it speaks to how strong of a champion you are. So when the other guy on the other side of the ring is looking at your belt, they see how powerful you are. This is the beginning of a blank belt. That's what it is, a blank canvas. As you start fighting, you fill these in. They put a ribbon around here. This turns gold. Each belt has their own upgrade as you keep winning world title fights, making world title defenses, unifying your belts. Upgrade with you. And the Zufa belt, for every champion, no matter if you defend that belt 20 times, it stays the exact same way. Zufa doesn't care about the fighter, about their hard work being advertised on their belt that they earned and built. What separates his belt from an original belt is that his belt got history and legacy on it, and he's put shit on it. So now your belt doesn't look like a beginner's belt. Your belt grows with you in the sport of boxing. And Zufa, all they gave a fuck about the fucking name Zufa and making an ugly ass belt that looks like the octagon. We don't fight in the octagon. I don't want a WWE belt. That looks like a wrestling belt. And on top of it, it's fucking silver. Which means, where do you get a silver medal at? For second place. In the Olympics, anywhere a silver signifies second place. So Zufa, guess what you guys are? Second place. Because the gold is over here. This is where the gold is at. You got a black and silver belt that looks like shit, with no history on it, and no one able to put their own history on the belt. You guys are selfish. You guys are like a monopoly. You guys are acting like dictatorship. You're controlling the fighter while telling them it's better over here. It's fucking crazy. Frontline, can you read the messages?
Well, before I read the messages, let me get this out the way. Mexico and Cuba are down bad.
Oh, don't tell me they lost in the baseball.
Oh, yes.
Was it bad?
Bad enough.
Yeah?
Cuba lost 4-1 versus Puerto Rico. And USA beat Mexico. I want to say it was 8-3.
8-3?
8-3, I think, if I remember correctly.
And now these are when like the Major League Baseball players come up, right?
Well, they got some Major League players, but it's mainly like people like AAA, AA.
Yeah. Because Mexico don't got a lot of Major League guys.
Yeah, like Czech Republic, for an example. Mm-hmm. Bro, no bullshit. They got a bunch of tradesmen on their team. Like, They don't have a professional team. They got a bunch of electricians, plumbers, construction workers, so on and so forth. But anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me get down here.
Yeah.
I think these guys that are vouching for Zufa are just casuals that they care about fights going on.
No. These guys that are vouching for Zufa are loyal fans too. They're tired of boxing and the bullshit that boxing's over. We're looking for something new. I don't blame any of these guys for backing Zufa, because I backed Zufa when they first came out. Okay? None of these guys are wrong. We are tired with boxing's bullshit, bro. and looking for another avenue, trying to find a new girlfriend. But sometimes we run into a worse situation if we're not careful. So when these guys are coming on saying, and the guy that I was clowning with the message, that's just a joke, baby. You know, once you see what it is, maybe that's not the right way. But I am fucking sick and tired of boxing's bullshit. Yes, I am. And I want better for boxing. Just because Zufa was not it doesn't mean that everything's fixed in boxing. So let's just get that right. We need structure. We need help in boxing. Not like this, though. Not like this. This right here was, you're taking away too much. You're taking away our sponsorship, the Muhammad Ali Act. Yo, it's sounding too fishy, bro. And then you're saying that these belts, you're disrespecting us. Disrespecting Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, George Foreman, Felix Trinidad, all of them, Manny Pacquiao. All the belts Manny Pacquiao had, Dana White saying them shits ain't shit. That's what he's saying. You feel me? So when you're doing this, you know, it's got to be better. So all the fans that are coming in, yo, Zufa, I get it. You're fed up with boxing. I am too sometimes. And I thought that Zufa was going to be our fucking savior, bro. I really thought that shit. I really thought that Zufa was going to be the one that fucking restores boxing. And they're just like Turkey did us on the DAZN package. No more pay-per-view. It's going to be free. And all of a sudden, the bill's $500. Yo, Turkey, I feel like you did the same thing with Zufa. You promised us change. You promised us, you know, a better structure. Bro, I was all for it. Let's go, Zufa, baby. Even their first card, Frontline, he got a phone call, but we were on here supporting Zufa. What do you know what I'm saying? I'm not a fucking hater. I wasn't sitting here telling you, no, I'm just a fan that doesn't like change. Nah. Man, I was all for it. You guys got to live with me. We watched the first Zufa kick off. I tried to hype up the card as much. It was a little boring, but I was trying to give Zufa a shot, a chance. I want change. This is not it, though. Now that I'm starting to see, I'm like sitting back going, the fuck is this? What you mean you taking away our rights on Muhammad Ali? What you mean you keep all the money? What you mean we can't wear? What you mean? I was like, whoa. I want change, but at what price? At what price? So now I'm a little hesitant. I'm like, whoa, wait. Because I was all for it. I was all with Zufa, dog. Now I'm just, I'm not sure about that. You feel me? Fights, making it through Zufa. Zufa is for sure in. I got Pro Box doing what we want. Yeah, but they don't have the, whoa, your message went up, but they don't have the superstars yet. Yeah. Don't recognize those 4 belts if you want. Change, stay stuck in the past. No. I'm watching them
right
all.
now.
Okay, check this out. Let me tell you something right now.
No, I'm calling him now.
One of the biggest things I try in my life, change. Accept change, evolve with change. I don't want to be that dude that says, man, you guys can't play the game back in my day. You ever hear that guy? He doesn't evolve with the sport. He doesn't like change. He likes the things they were the way they once were. I know those kind of people, okay? But change is good, but legacy and history can't be avoided. Why would I want to start over and erase all the legacy every fighter before had? You want me to erase the memory of Muhammad Ali? Want me to say that Muhammad Ali's belts were nothing? And the reason why we value these belts is just not because of the belt. It's the men and women that held them. They make the championship belt, the fighter, not the belt, right? Okay. So when you're telling me not to stay stuck and with change, brother, if I win the WBC world title, right? I know that my favorite fighter, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, a lot of them, Julio Cesar Chavez, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, they've owned the WBC world title. So on the night you were to win it, you're gonna feel the legacy. You're gonna feel the history of your hard work. Jai Opataya won the Zufa belt, and you know what Jai Opataya is this morning? Not the cruiserweight champion of the world. He's not recognized as the cruiserweight champion of the world. You could scream all you want that Zufa belt makes you what? What cruiserweight champion is going to fight Jai Opataya for the Zufa belt? I'll wait. It's going to be a guy that's ranked number 88, maybe 100, that has nothing else but that shot right there with Jai Opataya, and it's not going to mean anything. Unfortunately, in pro boxing, this is what governs us. And if you don't own one of these, guess what? You're not a world champion. You can have your opinion. You can voice whatever you want. But he has the Zufa belt and the ring belt. Is Jai Opataya a champion today with both those belts?
Yes,
No.
he's Zufa champ.
Yeah, he's not a champ. He's not a champion. He's not a world champion because that Zufa belt is the equivalent of the French heavyweight championship belt, the Russian championship belt, the Chinese championship belt. That Zufa belt is the equivalent of those belts. Those belts exist in the world. Yes, they do. And they consider themselves pros. You ever see all those guys? They got like 7, 8 belt like AJ had. AJ was in the ring. His wingspan was like this. He had like 6 belts on. But only 3 of them were recognized.
Yo, not Nas. Who's trying to manipulate you? Brandon Glanton was ranked number 10. Yes. Opataya was the IBF champion. He was stripped of the championship. So, what did they fight for exactly? I'll wait.
What did they fight for? What was on the line?
Jai did not keep his IBF belt. He got stripped.
No.
Or it
Actually,
was
Frontline.
vacated.
No, Frontline. No. Check this out, right? There was also another rule. I'm waiting to see the IBS full thing. It's been in the back of my mind all morning, right? The IBF could have only pulled out of this fight and not sanctioned the fight, but Jai Opataya could remain the IBF champion.
Okay,
There's
so they just didn't sanction it.
They just didn't sanction it.
Got you.
Now,
Okay,
whether
my
or
bad.
not,
My apologies.
right, whether or not the IBF decided to vacate his belt or just not to sanction the fight, he'll remain IBF champion, but not in the Zufa organization, or the IBF wasn't on the line with Brandon's fight. They weren't in attendance. So I was waiting. I've been like scouring this morning. I went, they don't got nothing up yet. I was waiting to see what their official verdict was. And I'm waiting to see, because if he was IBF champion suspended, so for a brief moment, he wasn't going to be champion until they gave him his status back, because he would have to tell the IBF in writing, I'm going to represent your organization and I will fight my mandatory, but it won't be in Zufa where the belt is not allowed. You would have to defend our belt out here. IBF will work with you. They're gonna give you options. Now, if you want to be stubborn and be a hardhead and say, nope, I'm signed with Zufa, I got to fight, well, they're going to take their belt. They're going to take their belt. Now, if Jai Opataya is true, was only signed in for a one-fight deal with Zufa, see, these are all the particulars that I'm searching for. There's a lot of small answers, but big ones, because that's a big one. whether or not Jai Opetaia is the cruiserweight champion of the world, of the IBF, and did the IBF move on without him? Or are they still in business with him? Now, it's only been, 24 hours? Less than 48 hours since all this shit kicked off? So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of decisions and phone calls being made. At any moment, we're going to find out if Jai Opetaia is still the IBF or if he's not. But I know what he's not going to be, right? Check this out. Jai Opetaia fought Saturday night on Zufa, right? And like you said, what title did he defend? What titles did he win? He won a Zufa. So, okay, if the Ring Magazine belt is so much better than the Alphabet belts, and why the fuck wasn't that on the line and that being represented as a title defense? Why is it that you never have title defenses on a Ring Magazine belt? It's like, why didn't they just go, hey, we're fighting for the Ring World title? No, your belt says it in its title. If the people just step back and just read the name, what's the name of it? Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine. That's a ring. Like, what the? It doesn't say Ring World Championship. It doesn't say Ring World Title. It says
it's not even an organization.
Magazine.
Hey,
yo, check it out. Check it out. That the only way you can compete for their belt, allegedly, according to them, best fighting the best. It's not equally given the opportunity for all fighters in the ranking division to win it.
Okay, Edwin, but how do you get to be the best?
That's popular by the fans. Okay, check this out. If you are avoided and you're an avoided fighter, right? And let's say that you don't have any belts or whatever. Let's say Virgil Ortiz. Let's say that the public already demands that hypothetically Jerome Boots Ennis was ducking him. I said hypothetically, right? What they'll do is they'll have Virgil fight some other dude that's closer in the ranking and put pressure on Jerome Boots Ennis when Virgil beats him by saying, now he's the best fighter. You ducked him. We consider him the people's champion type shit. So he fought the best, fighting the best. That means that no matter what the fuck you say, Jerome Boots Ennis, unless you beat him for that ring belt, you will never be considered the best. It's kind of like, you know how like in boxing, you got the scorecards and then you got the fan scorecard? You know how you have the unofficial scorecard on every boxing match? That's what the Ring Magazine belt is. The unofficial title. That we, the fans, when we see a robbery, we'll go back to the media and go, look at what the fans said. All the fans in the world said that this guy won, but this guy won. You understand? It's like the more popular vote. That's what the ring belt represents. It's supposed to represent the best fighting the best. It's not always like that, but yeah. But it's not really like, it doesn't help you in any way in boxing, the ring belt. You don't need the ring belt to be unified. You don't need it to be undisputed. If the Ring Magazine belt was so strong, why wasn't Teofimo Lopez considered unified? He had 2 belts. He had the WBO in the ring. But he was only a champion, a world champion, single. You don't need the ring belt. It doesn't help you for nothing. It just gives you popularity status. That you fought the best. You beat the guy that beat the guy. That's what you did. And you know what that means? Bullshit. Because I've always been a firm believer in just because AJ beat all these guys and Usyk beat him doesn't mean that Usyk inherit all AJ's wins. Yeah, you beat AJ, one guy. Yeah, you beat Dante Wilder, One guy. You shouldn't get credit for everybody that guy beat. Because you're going to say he beat him, that he beat him, and that he beat him, that he can't beat him. Automatically, on one fight, that guy becomes the man. That's bullshit. Like Usyk became the greatest heavyweight champion in some people's eyes, only fighting 3 guys. 3 guys. Well, now it's 4. Because if you haven't noticed, Usyk is a repeated fighter. He fought Dubois twice, AJ twice, Deontay Wilder twice. He's a repeated fighter. So although he beat Tyson Fury twice, Tyson Fury beat everybody. He beats Tyson Fury. All of a sudden, he's the best heavyweight in the world. I said, wait a minute. Shouldn't he have to do some work?
Make sense to me, Edwin. You're saying Virgil, if he fights Boots, he'll be the Ring Magazine champion because he beat the man that beat the man.
No, not if he at that might the way I was saying it. Virgil would fight someone else to put pressure on Jerron Boots Ennis, because if he got the ring, it would be kind of saying, I fought the man and beat the man, and you're avoiding me. Jerron Boots Ennis in that situation is the guy that's avoiding.
Well, in those terms, wouldn't you say Chino Garcia, the one that Xander beat for the belt, wouldn't he be considered a ring champion?
He should have been one.
With your logic, I mean, think about it.
Right. But the problem
because Conwell was the quote unquote boogeyman of 54.
Right.
Quote unquote.
And then Perez was like the number 2 or number 3.
Correct. And he beat.
That would have been the best fighting the best. But the problem is, right, someone else in the division already had the Ringside magazine. I keep calling Ringside. Ring magazine belt. And it was Terrence Crawford.
Which, by the way, when that fight happened, he was already at 68 training or fighting for Canelo.
Yeah, and the organization still deemed him the fucking champion. That's what I mean. The Ring magazine belt is not equal. It's not fair. And in some cases, you can't even beat the guy for it. So, listen, it's not a fair way to win the belt. It's not equal to all boxers like the IBF is, like the WBO is, like the WBA, and etc. They're equal opportunity. You make your way up the ranking, you get yourself a title fight, and so forth. The only belt I didn't mention were the WBC, and I left them out for a reason, because the WBC functions at a different level. These have real ranking systems. The WBC has a 32 board member that they elect the fighter they deem worthy to fight for their belt. It's not always you're the number 1, 2, and 3. You'll always get your shot. No. They're the Rolls Royce of the belts. They typically want the most famous, popular, strongest knockout artists. They're always searching to put their belt around the Ryan Garcias of the world, the WBC. They have a board member and they elect who they deem worthy to fight for their belt. They put up a ranking system. Like if you was to go and look up, they have a 15 fight ranking system like everybody else, but it doesn't really function that way. They still can choose to opt out from the 1, 2, and 3 fighters. They can. They'll go with Ryan Garcia at 4 to fight for their belt. Or they'll bump them up from a loss to coming up. That's what I mean about the bullshit in boxing sometimes. I wanted structure. I wanted someone to come in and fix the mistakes that boxing's currently having today that it seems like none of these guys are fixing. Right?
Well, that's what Pro Box was introduced. Pro Box.
Right. Pro Box is gladiator school, bro.
Facts.
That's fucking gladiator school, Box Lab. They're making their way. But as you can see, other entities that have entered the sport, they realize right away, if you can't beat them, join them. You see, Pro Box is paying the wave to be that next viewing platform where we go see boxing. They're doing a great job. By the years go, they're going to get better fighters and everything. Soon they're going to get more world champions. It's just a matter of time. Right? So they knew, and belts like the IBO knew, rather than trying to put a belt against all this legacy, try to become part of it. Try to become part of the legacy. Don't tell the belts to diminish everybody's. Fucking Felix Trinidad had this belt. Are you kidding me? He never won the Zufa belt. But now, the IBO, if it enters and comes in a 5-belt era, all of a sudden, a couple more years, the IBO will roll right in with the rest of the legacy. You understand? That's what Zufa should have did. Zufa could have made a belt and play ball. Play the long game. Zufa's trying to do it like this, fast. They're trying to rewrite boxing. Do away with everything we had with. Let's start over new. But my fear is Zufa doesn't understand boxing. They don't understand evolution. And when a guy talks about, you don't like change and shit, well, let's talk about change for a second. Zufa doesn't understand we can't live in a 1-belt era. Boxing has evolved and gotten too big. We're not the UFC, where your entire division and your roster, one division consists of 60 guys. One division in boxing fluctuates, but on average will have over 2,000 fighters. Some have 1,003 and some have 900. 2,463 fighters at 135 pounds. You mean out of 2,000 fighters, you're going to have 1 belt? What if that guy gets sick? You just hold up 2,465 people's careers. Because you don't want to fight but once a year. You would literally have to fight 10 times a year to satisfy everybody's demand on getting a world title fight. Boxing is too big. We need 4 belts. Shit, we need 5. But I think we should do away with the interim belts. All those fucking gold, silver, get that shit out of here. 4 belts, and if the champion can't perform, the interim comes in for 1 fight. As soon as the champion comes back, you must fight him. You cannot defend an interim belt. Not like these guys, Tank Davis, 6 interim world title fights. David the Monster Benavidez defending interim belts. What kind of shit is that? That's what's wrong with boxing. Shit like that. Boxing, the belts got too greedy. But I understand the evolution of boxing. We can never go back to a 1-belt era, 2-belt era. It wouldn't work. It's just too many boxers. That shit would fall apart. And Dana White's concept, because it worked in the UFC, brother, what you're not doing is the math. You're comparing a small organization to a giant. And you think that your small remedy formula that you made in the UFC is going to take over boxing? Are you fucking kidding me? Your 1-belt era would not work in boxing. It would not work. That shit is crap. What's up, Koki?
What's up, Frontline?
What up?
Koki, what's up,
Everybody
baby?
like and subscribe. Yo, like and subscribe. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Yo, what's up, my brother?
Yo, I'm tired of the doofus shit, man.
This shit is fucking whack, bro.
Yeah, like,
man, I wanted change so bad. I thought they were going to be our saviors. I really did. I really thought that Zufa was going to come in and bring structure to boxing, and I was like all for it. You know me. Fuck it. I'll rock with competition. But if I got to dominate competition and shut them down because I'm just better, then that's what the fuck I'll do. And right. Zufa didn't come with the product they promised us. They came to us with a lot of broken dreams. and promising all this shit, but never delivered. And shit, on week 1, they lift their skirt. Hey, yo, Frontline, didn't I tell you that at some point Zufa's going to challenge the Alphabet Boys and they're going to fight their belt against their and try to do the dominant
Yeah,
championship?
you even compared it to when Dana White challenged Bellator.
Right. And I said,
Right, that's
it's going to happen in a few years. I didn't think it was going to happen in week 1.
Yeah, they were crazy for that.
Yo, these motherfuckers
They
lost
should have
their
put some eggs
mind.
in their basket before they throw the first punch. You know,
Oh, they lost their mind.
that shit is crazy.
It is.
Well, Zufa to me is just UFC rebranded into Zufa. That's all it is. They can call it UFC if they want.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Nas says there's thousands of professional basketball players, but only hundreds of NBA players we know who has the best talent, and Sufa will do the same. How? They're
I don't think they can
running
beat
out
NBA.
of money.
Okay, listen. I know a basketball player, God's honest truth. God's honest truth. I know this is going to sound crazy, guys. This is going to sound fucking crazy. I know a kid that I know personally, myself, that I think was almost as equal as MJ in playing basketball. There's only one problem why you'll never hear from him. He's doing a triple life sentence. We knew him here. He did get a scholarship. And in that same year, like they was hyping him. I'm not even going to say his name. But there are a lot of players that I know for a fact that are better than some of the guys in professional sport. That's no lie. There's a problem with life. Just because you were born to do something doesn't always mean you get there. Life has a way of interrupting. Tragic overdose, car accident, walking outside, getting shot by a stray bullet. Shit, 1,000 ways to die or 1,000 ways you'll never get to the one thing you were born to do. Sometimes you never even get introduced to the thing you know how to do. You might sit there at home and say, man, what the fuck was I put on this earth for? Give it a little time and hopefully you find your purpose. There are a lot of guys. I really believe this. For instance, I think that the world made 100 Michael Jordans, but only one of them made it. 99 of them got lost their way in the pitfalls. MJ was the one that made it. There are 100 versions of myself. I look different. I might be black, Asian, and in different ways, but one of us got to make it to what we were born to do. The rest of us will get swallowed by the world. So if you're sitting here trying to convince me that there are other boxers in the world, there's another Sugar Ray Leonard Mayweather, oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But one thing about scouting talent, the biggest problem in promoters, when they get into the game in boxing, they get into the game just to realize finding the next Floyd Mayweather or Mike Tyson, it's like fighting a needle in a haystack. Not all these guys, some of these guys start off with good names, get knocked out 3 or 4 times, and there goes your guy. Who can maintain that? What are the odds of that young little kid turning into Floyd? When you saw him in the ghetto, poverty-stricken, poor, mother on drugs, father selling crack, did you really look at Floyd Mayweather and say, you know what? You're going to be the greatest boxer in the world? How the fuck is Zufa automatically going to find all these guys that boxing is missing?
Hey guys, those of y'all that want to hop on, I put the link in the chat. Especially Nas, if you're cooking too easy, hop on, talk your shit.
Come on, baby. Come on, I'll give you a phone call.
I'm just someone. Talk your shit.
Come on, man.
Yeah, round one, we don't block nobody unless you violate the
if you want to
the
come up
rules.
here, yeah.
The rules is we don't talk about mothers, we don't talk about kids, we don't talk about family. We keep the shit professional. You could talk
keep it
your
professional.
shit. We
We
talk
don't
our
yell.
shit.
Yeah, those are those other channels. You want to get up and be disrespectful and they swear at each other, man, blah, 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 blah. Bro, that's not this channel. You know
Nah,
what I'm
but y'all can
saying?
talk y'all shit. We'll listen.
Yeah,
We'll rebuttal. We'll go back and forth if we have to,
that's
but
it.
just no disrespect.
That's it. And if you want to come up here in the boxing world and you think that other people are like you that are interested in Zufa, here's your moment. Promote your Zufa. I'm not here to shoot you down. Bro, I am a competitor. It's just the way I'm built. You really think that I'm gonna try to like shoot you down with your Zufa claims? Nah, dog. Speak for them. Shit, maybe they give you a job. I'll help you out with that. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta be assholes in life to get our points across. We could have a conversation. We could treat each other like men. We
And by
might
the
not.
way,
We
I'm
might not.
just
We might not see eye to eye. We might have a discussion or a debate, of course, but with respect. That's all.
I'm just
That's all.
someone. Earlier in the chat, you said something about before signing on to do research. One thing that you will, I know you're new here, so I'm not gonna go that hard, but you'll realize whether it's Edwin or whether it's me, it doesn't matter. If we say a false statement, we will be man enough to apologize and stand corrected. We're not gonna sit here and go with our bullshit or whatever. If like when I said Jayo Pataya got stripped from the IBF, Edwin corrected me and I apologized to y'all. My bad, I didn't know that. And that's where your comment came in. So just so you know, if we're wrong, we will apologize and stand corrected. It is what it is. We're all human. Just not enough time in the world to keep up with everything that's going on.
Yeah. And another thing, I like your little comments and stuff that I'm shocked and stuff. Hell no, I'm not shocked. I mean, apparently, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm telling you. I
Not
thought
shocked.
that,
He said shooked. He said these
like,
dudes will lie till the cows come
yeah,
home. Sufa got them so shook.
yeah, I know. But I'm not shocked about this. I'm not shocked about like you trying to tell me like I fear Suf or whatever. I just told you. In the beginning I was supporting them. I want change. I told you I thought that they were the ones that bring structure and change to boxing. Must not be listening. You see what I'm saying? And then as they started unraveling their rules, their terms, the way they're gonna, and then I started seeing a different picture. They promised us a lot of things, Sufa. They promised to keep the boxers working, fighting. They promised a lot of things. And it looked like a lot of fighters over there that were signing, that were going over there. They were going over there, all of a sudden Regis Progress, then Connor Bend, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, yo, this might be the next best thing, Sufa. But when all this shit came out Saturday night, I said, oh, hell no. You lied to us. Sufa, you lied to us. And then you promoting both your belts above these two belts, and the world not even recognizing that the Sufa belt and the ring belt are owned by the same man. You're not even acknowledging that. Well said from someone that owns both belts. Your belts would be better, wouldn't they? Well said. Well said for you trying to convince everybody that the ring belt is better than all the four major sanctioning body belts.
Hey,
Well said.
he said you're judging them off of 2 months. Dana said judge at the end of the year. You didn't listen.
Okay, so this guy acts like Dana White is Simon Says. This guy said, didn't you hear Dana's White say, I don't gotta go by anything Dana White says.
Well, it's not only that. It's not only that.
Wait. Who the fuck is Dana White in boxing?
Nobody.
That's
What's up,
right.
Edwin?
How you doing, Malasa? He's nobody in boxing. He's not a voice. He doesn't dictate boxing. If Bob Arum, if Oscar De La Hoya, fucking even Eddie Hearn, or one of the voices in boxing said something, yo, you put in your time, your effort. You're invested in boxing. When you talk, I listen. Who the fuck is Dana White?
Well, not only that, we're only judging because he promised something and he's not delivering.
This guy acts like he said, no, Dana White said, I don't give a fuck what Dana White said. That's a UFC guy.
Like,
he ain't never put in his time, and I don't believe until I see it. Yo, my man, let me ask you a question. This didn't dawn on me. But are you the type of person that believes every sad story you hear?
I bet.
Girl can walk up. Oh my God, I'm stranded at a bus stop. I'm trying to get home. I need $200. You just gave a crackhead $200, didn't you?
Just for that.
Right? You believe every sad story? Everything someone says. You just, yep, he said this, I'm going to go with it. You don't question it. Maybe look some stuff up. Maybe wait to see what they're going to do. Turkey promised us no more pay-per-view prices. What's the bill now on the zone? $500 for a year.
Yeah, $80 per card, $70.
Right? But that, according to him, no more pay-per-view, and we got shafted. He promised us Zufa. No more Wild Wild West. We have order. What the fuck they do? You believe every sad story you hear. I know it.
Oh, and people are forgetting where these matches are built up in the UFC training camp in Las Vegas. It's not even a real place like they don't rent like a basketball place, a hotel or something for fights. No, it's in the training center for UFC fights. That's where those fights happen in Las Vegas.
Yeah, listen, look, man. Ed Hearn said a lot of bullshit. Bob Arum said a lot of bullshit. And we be calling them out on their shit because they be lying. They are some liars.
Yeah, but Bob Arum got history in boxing and he can talk his shit.
That's right. That's fucking right. And when Ed Hearn lies and Bob Arum and them, come on, guys, they're doing their job. Promoter, they're always going to promote their side of, and but that's the nature of the beast. He's a fucking promoter. They're sharks. They're snakes. So Dana White is his own promoter, but all of a sudden he's the honest one.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one with honesty, but the last job he just left got sued for $375 million to pay out to the fighters that he didn't pay.
Yeah.
And how much of a snake was Dana White in the UFC of all the stories of the fighters, even Aspinall that Ed Hearn just signed, right? Out of all the stories they told you about Dana White, all of a sudden he comes to the boxing world. He's the most honest promoter, and whatever Dana White says goes.
And how Dana White,
here, bro?
Edwin, how Dana White is expecting the fan base will support his Zufa boxing shit when he's disrespecting us, when he's telling us, oh, all the legacy and history that you has watched for years, that means shit. Now,
yeah, Ali ain't shit.
Stuff.
Mike Tyson ain't shit. Julio Cesar Chavez ain't shit.
Trinidad, Macho
ain't shit. That's what he's saying.
Disrespecting us in our faces.
Right in our face, or standing on our block that we made, and he's selling his product while telling us our product is garbage. But we gotta let him stand there.
The hell out of here.
Get the fuck out, man.
Listen. You know what I like Pro Box so much? You know what I like it? Because they had built their own boxer. You see Najee Lopez. You see all the boxers they got. They build it up. Even Macombi that he fought versus Caleb Plant. He Pro Box built it up from the ground up, and make it somebody.
Yo, stop. Malas, I'm sorry I gotta cut you off, but this is funny.
Dale, go ahead.
Yo, I'm just someone, right? He texts, right? He says, no. He's saying, judge him at the end of the year, not now. What is scamming about that? Okay, check this out.
Tell him.
When he told the UFC fighters, listen, we're $44 million in debt. Don't hold me right now. I'm not going to pay you this much money. But wait until the end of the year when the UFC kicks off. We're all going to be rich and I'm going to give you guys money, right? That was the promise he told these guys. As a matter of fact, Joe Rogan, he couldn't even pay Joe Rogan to announce the fights. He did like 14 separate for free for Dana White. So, and then when Dana White got up there, what did he do? He didn't change the pay grade. He kept it the same and he implemented bonuses. What a snake. He said to them, have faith in me. I'm going to build the UFC. And don't worry, fighters. I won't let you down. For all the blood and sacrifice you guys give me now, you will be rewarded for it at the end. And what did he do? Got greedy. Money changed everything. And once the money started flowing in, he didn't want to pay. Francis Ngannou left the UFC. He was the heavyweight champion in the UFC. He defended his belt against Cyril Gane for $600,000. $600,000. One of the best UFC heavyweight champions they had. One of the best knockout artists. A guy you want in the ring. And that man had to leave the UFC and run to boxing to get a payday with Tyson Fury because he was starving with Dana White. And this guy's going to sit here and tell me, Dana White's telling you to judge me at the end of the year. Well, guess what, Dana White? I heard that story before, and you fucked over thousands of guys. No. And they had to sue you. And there's a second lawsuit going on in the UFC for hundreds of $millions after that $375 million lawsuit was settled. There's still another one ongoing for all the fuckery he did to all those men. And you want me to think he's going to be honest to our boxers?
See.
Bro, this guy is gullible. This guy in the chat, I just said, whatever his name is, I'm just someone. That guy is a gullible dude, bro. You got to wake up. You can't just let Dana White do this.
Yo, battle me 10Ks. You know, I got something to flip over there, some merchandise to flip. Just battle me 10K. As soon as I flip that money, Papa, give you 20Ks. I got you for real. And when I flip the money and shit, do you find me? Do you know where I am?
No, you're buying off somebody else. You're out there buying off somebody else that I gave you the startup money. Then you take the money you made and you go somewhere else and you buy their product.
And you're still waiting over here for your
And I'm waiting for you to get my money back. And you ain't even fucking with me.
Yeah.
And I gave you the startup money.
And then I told that what you have done is trash and you are worthless. Don't fuck with Edwin. That guy is worthless. Come with me and get my shit. What? That's what he's doing. And people cannot even see it? Come on.
Companies, different business model. Is that what that says? Damn. Drama acts like public defender, bro. We not talking about UFC? So you want me to forget about all the headaches and all the backstabbing he did at Dana White did in the UFC? Forget about all that. So you're the kind of guy, right?
Forget all the people I
hold on, let me wait. Check this out. Okay, my man. Okay, you're saying that somebody can change his stars. We can always do wrong. We can change as a person. Okay, great. So here's one for you. You want me to forget about everything Dana White did, bring him into boxing and take him on his word. All right, fine. So let me ask you what you feel about this situation. Did you forgive Conte when he was doping all in the Olympics and he came to boxing and made snack? Did you believe that he was clean? Did you believe that fighters like Devin Haney and all those people, Terrence Crawford that was on snack, that was taking that snack shake, that Vinter content changed his ways? You're one of them? You think that Victor Content and that snack, there was no funny business going on there. And that Victor Content, one of the head creators of the clear serum with that other Latin dude that really made it, right? You think that he came into boxing with snack? And what? So Dana White left the UFC and he comes into boxing and you're saying what? What are you saying? You believe him already? Or he doesn't have to prove himself? On week 1, day 1, he got your approval. He didn't earn it. He didn't do anything to validate it. He didn't give you anything. He just said a couple sentences and you're with him. You're on board. He doesn't have to prove it to you. Okay. If that's the way you want to roll, you're a grown-ass man. I'm not trying to change your mind. You're voicing your opinions. I'm voicing mine. But after the show, this mic turns off. Go about your day, brother. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I hope like money falls out the sky for you. Because, opinions, we all have them. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm from the show me state. And they know why you're going to have to show me. Talk is cheap, that's all. And what you're doing right now is not the way. I want boxing to change. Boxing needs to change. We need help in boxing. We need structure. But we also need freedom. We need the Muhammad Ali Act to protect these fighters from getting robbed at certain phases in boxing. We need more transparency. We need better rule structures around the world, the same rules. We need a building where we have fights around the world so that we can try to take away some of these sanctioning fees and have the IBF and the WBC have like boxing buildings, like basketball stadiums, like football stadiums, that we go there just to see boxing. Not just world title fights, all kinds of fights. They could have that building rocking 24 hours a day. We need structure like that. But to also be able to market off of ourselves. Because if you ask me, the money's not worth it. Being brain dead at 50 years old and shit, stuttering and shit. You know what I'm saying? You seen James Toney? You ever see that man talk?
Yes.
Right? So it gets crazy. Yo, guys.
Benitez too.
Guys. We got our guest. You guys show him respect. Let's hear the man talk. He popped up on the panel. Let's hear what he has to say.
Let's go.
Salute.
What's up, my brother? How are you doing today?
I'm great.
We doing great. We doing great, boss. What's up? Talk to me. Talk to me.
Yeah, just chilling, listening to you guys talk. I don't agree with a lot of things you guys are saying, but I mean, we can agree to disagree. I mean,
okay. Why? Let me ask you. Let's just break it down. What makes Zufa, first of all, for you, so much better? As it's, is it the future that you're hopeful for, or are you really impressed with the cards that they put out versus like small entities like Pro Box and Boxlag? Let's just start right there.
Well, I'm not even. I'm talking about like these other. I'm not even talking about Pro Box and all these cards. I'm talking about Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, and Oscar De La Hoya, PBC, Golden Boy, and Matchroom. And none of these dudes are putting out cards. Zufa has 4 cards. None of those names I just mentioned has put out more than 2 cards. Think about that. And these are the top promotional companies in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting on any product. Like
not. That's not entirely true. They didn't put out like cards where it was like Golden Boy, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was mostly like turkey cards, and they were pimping their fighters out to those cards for a little bit more money. So it wasn't like, and then you got to also remember that when Turkey In fact, you can't really say that because when Turkey put out that card, he put like a promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, in charge of it. Then he put Ed Hearn in charge of the other one. So although it wasn't Golden Boy, remember when Oscar De La Hoya got into that big discussion argument on stage and he was like the head promoter, but like none of his guys were they weren't the main event. He had 2 guys on the card. It was like underneath, but he was the head promoter. So it was been cases like that. But if what you're trying to say is,
and Top Rank, I
good
forgot
hand
to
with the
mention
way
them.
these guys are, Bob Rem. They're not, listen, boxing is the Wild Wild West, man. We need change. We
And
desperately need
that's what needs
help.
to end. It's too much. This sport is too fractured, bro. Like there's too much
Yeah, real bad.
islands. There's too many islands going around. People here. There's too many
No,
belts. It's too much.
it's not the
It's
islands.
never gonna work.
Okay, check it out. You almost got it. You're right there. It's not the islands, it's the rules that change. This is bullshit. When you go to Japan, you could put tape on skin. When you come to Las Vegas, you can't. You got to put gauze. If you go to the Philippines, there's no 3 knockdown rule in effect. If you go, the bell can't save you after this time. The judging over out in the Philippines, they considered any punch landed. In America, we considered effective punching, meaning you could punch me 20 times with a jab. If at the end of the round I punch you 1 time and you stagger, I win the round, even though you hit me 20 times. It's not the same. That's why they say regular punches to power punches. Punches thrown, punches landed. And if they can't determine by forward aggression, they go, if they can't determine by, forward aggression, they'll determine by like, what am I looking for here? If they can't determine it by effective punching, effective punching, they'll go by forward aggression. I'm sorry. So the first criteria in America is effective punching of judging. The second, if they get lost and there's too much action or no action, who's the guy that was initiating the attack? Who is the guy that was going backward would be, like that. But we don't have the rule structure and all these islands. It's not the same rules and it's not the same way. So that, I believe, that's a flaw in the system, because what happens is it gets deeper. When you look for 3 judges from around the world, what happens is, let's say you're fighting in Japan. When you go fight out there as an American, one of the first things you're going to say is, I don't want all the judges to be Japanese. Matter of fact, we don't want no judge. But the Japanese guy is going to say, I want 1 Japanese judge. So they're going to fly in 2 guys, one from Germany and one from fucking Cuba. I mean, not Cuba. Let's say one from France, right? The French guy, he's been judging fights for 20 years over there, but under this criteria. The Russian guy's been seeing it this way. When you get there, all 3 of them have different ways of judging fights. It's not the same rule structure. That's where the failure is. That's where things break down. That's why when you see scorecards, they're lopsided, because that judge is not judging the fight the way that one is looking at it. Because you flew him in because you want a fair advantage. But if they taught all the judges and all the countries the same way to officiate a fight, then when you fly someone in from another country, he would be under the same rules, the same vision. You understand? And that's where the flaw lies, that we're a boxing or, a pro boxing establishment, but we're not all together. We're not on the same page. And as far as promoters and these guys, the thing with boxing is the thing that hurts boxing, it doesn't have a schedule. When football comes out, basketball, NBA, you have a schedule. On every given Sunday, these teams are going to play these teams. In boxing, as soon as your fighter steps out the ring, you have no idea when he's going to get back in or what his next fight's going to be, what the
Absolutely,
schedule
that's a problem.
of boxing. That's a problem.
I agree
And,
with you. And there's a lot of fighters who've lost, even title in world title fights, unification fights. When they lose, just because they don't have a big name, we may not ever hear about them again. Because wanna know why?
right,
Because they might be too dangerous of a fighter. They don't want to take a risk with them again. Like guys who there's like a lot of guys like that we
a
see.
lot.
I have to go on the
Shit,
website where
Shakur
I look at
Stevenson
them.
was one of them. If he didn't get that belt, if he would have lost, they would have never fucked with that dude. You know, there's a lot of them, dark horses.
And
High
that's why
risk, low reward.
I feel like with Zufa, a guy like those type of fighters,
With
they're gonna
Thribe.
they're going to be still in a ranking system. So if you're the fifth best guy, you're gonna fight the sixth best guy, or you're gonna
Right,
fight the fourth best guy. You're not
right,
just thrown all the way to the end.
right.
And that's a problem. Me thinking like that, then I'll be the problem. Then if that's a problem, I
No,
want
no,
those
no,
type
no.
of
No,
fighters.
no, I get it. I get it. Look, there are certain things that Sufa has qualities that I like. I like the fact that they're going to keep the guy fighting. They're making promises of 3 fights a year. We're going to make sure you fight. We have a schedule. We're trying to put you guys in like uniform to show structure. But behind all that is the underlying that I'm worried about. What do you mean you keep all their sponsorship money? What do you mean he can't go on a commercial and advertise like Pepsi can't pay me to stand there? But they can, but if only Sufa gets a cut. Then you said you don't pay any sanctioning fees to our belt. And I like that. I said, oh, no sanctioning fees? Because I realized why you have to pay sanctioning fees for these belts. They don't have a stadium. They
Tell
don't
me,
charge ticket prices at the door. There's no way for them to make money. If you go see your favorite football team, it's in that stadium, whatever games are there. And the owner gets that. But in boxing, the promoter got to rent the venue. He's got to break bread with the people in the venue. He's got to break bread with everybody else. The belts have nothing to do with that. So we pay sanctioning fees to them so that their organization stays alive, so that they can have a professional sport. So when Dana White said no sanctioning fees to my belt, he caught my attention. But then when he said he's keeping all the endorsement money, anything, they own all the rights to all the fighters. Whatever they want you to do, wherever they want you to go, you have to do it. If Dana White says you got to give us 40 hours of media time, you got to show up to like Zufa events and all that. That's why they got boxers in the front rows of some of these places for advertisement. That's what Zufa's kind of doing. So I'm not paying sanctioning fees. My money. Oh shit. My connection fell off there for a second. So I'm not paying sanctioning fees, but you're keeping the rest of my money. That's basically paying sanctioning fees to these guys. See, in boxing world, I can pay sanctioning fees, but I can make money everywhere else off sponsors, commercials, Nike, whatever. I could do whatever I want. There's no telling how much a sponsor's willing to pay you. You don't got to report that to boxing. But if you work with Sufa, you got to give a percentage of that money to them because they own the right to you. So although I'm not paying sanctioning fees to your belt, I'm paying other fees to you. You're just dressing it up, telling me you're not paying sanctioning fees, but I'm getting billed on the back end for shit in boxing I would have never got billed for.
okay,
All my
so
sponsor money would have been mine.
let me ask you this. So all these sanctioning bodies, right? The 4 of them, right?
Yep.
They all say they're was it nonprofit organizations?
Yeah, they're
Do
supposed
you
to be.
believe that they're nonprofit organizations? Do you believe that all that money is going elsewhere outside of their pockets?
Hell no. It's not supposed to be. I'm supposed to tell you that I'm doing that. But the real thing is that money comes in, right? And it's supposed to pay for, first of all, for my main building, the IBF building. Let's just start right there. My main IBF building. Say I got 220 people in that office. How the fuck you think I pay those 20 people to answer the calls when you're an IBF champion and you have questions? Or an IBF, you call me to ask if you're going to sanction my fight. And you call to check in with us. I hope you have somewhere to call. Not like Mayweather promotion. Mayweather has been saying, I'm Mayweather promoter since he was a boxer. Please tell me where the building is. Tell me where you call. What's his secretary? What's his staff look like? There is none. None of that shit exists. It's his cell phone in his back pocket. That's the biggest Mayweather promotion ever got. So if you're a belt and you made this, let's just say you made this, right, in the 1920s, people took what you made as the world title. Everybody else around you is getting money. How would you keep this belt going? What do? Pass the same belt around for the next 50 years? Because who makes the new belt all the time? Who pays for that? Who keeps the belt alive? So the organization says, bro, I made this. You think I'm not going to keep trying to keep this alive? Well, I got to make money somehow to pay people to answer the phone. And I got to put offices all around the world like the WBC has. They got over 32 offices scattered around the world. Japan, the Philippines, all that to find talent. They put across all these amateur events, all these things. They can put their money anywhere. You know what the dumb thing they said? They try to say that the money that they got the tie, instead of saying the truth, oh, we give it back to the boxers. We do this, we do that. Just say the truth. Say that the IBF needs to pay their workers, their organization, their ties around the world. And the reason why we pay sanctioning fees is because they don't have a stadium. There is no actual other way other than paying sanctioning fees that the belt stays alive. What do you think? We just make a IBF out of the air, call it the IBF, and some mysterious Santa Claus guy keeps appearing a new belt after you win it. What values does this have? It's just somebody saying from 30 years ago that they were a world champion. You got to have something behind it, an organization structure. It has to have meaning. So just like Jermell Charlo said, I'll pay the sanctioning fees 100 times. The belts, without the belts, I would be nothing. I would be nothing. Paying sanctioning fees is nothing. It's 13% or whatever it is of my purse, which is peanuts, right? For these people making a sport where I can punch somebody in the face and get recognized around the world as a real world champion because your belt has value, history, legacy. This is something you built. Remember, I'm putting you as the owner of the IBF. You invented this out of your head as a kid and then made it. But you should make no money. You just made the belt and gave it to boxing and walked away. That's how you invent something? Or do you want to profit off your invention? You were the one with the bright idea to say, hey, let's make a belt and put it around a guy's waist. 100 years later, all of a sudden, here comes Zufa telling you your belt ain't shit.
That's the
that
same.
We need
that
to
same
forget
belt
everything you built. Because you see, the system is not flawed in the belts. The system is flawed in the promoters, in the streaming apps, the networks, the greed. That's where, in the rules, that's where the system is flawed. But the belts are getting the backlash. Now, all of a sudden, the belts ain't shit because a promoter can get you $1 million fight without the belt. Chris Eubank, Conor Benn. Right? So now the people are turning their backs on what? The belt? The belt didn't do this. Ed Hearn did. And that's where the confusion comes in. You want to destroy 100 years of history because of Top Rank, Golden Boy, Bob Aaron, you know what I'm saying? That's they didn't do that.
That
Now
they're
I know
ruining
that
their
the
own
belts,
history though. Like they're
yeah,
doing
they
it to
do.
themselves a lot.
Listen,
This is that IB belt that you're holding, that you were just holding. That's the
yep.
same sanctioning company that had racketeering charges, bribery, and money laundering.
Okay,
That belt that's connected to that. That belt's
name me
connected to
one
that.
belt that doesn't have that connected to.
That
I'll
you
wait.
honestly making my point. You honestly making my point. I wasn't even trying to just single out the IBF. You're making my point with that. All of them, they're all
Exactly. What
corrupted.
I'm saying to
Why
you,
is that? Why is that normal though? Why is that cool? Like to just like you talking about
okay,
all
my
this
brother. Okay,
history and all this heritage that these belts have,
okay,
and they
check
got all
this
this
out. Check
dirt
this
on
out.
them.
Check this out. Check this out, right? I'm not sure if you ever tried to embark on something or try to do anything yet in life, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes there's a man out there with a vision, but he's necessarily doesn't always have all the money. Dana White. He came, he went, left boxing, went to the UFC, but he was broke. So the Fratellis brothers funded his his dream, right? So what you do sometimes, maybe the IBF, maybe the WBA, maybe that at one point in time, a bunch of mobsters and gangsters came to them and they were like, yo, we'll give you the money. You got desperate, bro. You wanted a new building in 4 different other countries, but the plumbing, the area, but you gotta grow. And here comes these gangsters that are at your fights every day promoting these other guys, and they say, hey, you need 10 million? I got it for you. And you get in bed with these guys, it probably was the wrong thing to do, right? And now that the WBC and a lot of these guys, they're trying to clean up their act. But sometimes, bro, you want that store on the corner store, but nobody believes in your vision, but that one drug dealer that lends you the money to get it off. You get it off, but at what cost? Then all of a sudden, that drug dealer wants to own half of your business. He wants in on what you're making. And this was your vision. But the bank wanted to lend you the money because the bank said you don't got enough credit. But Flacco here, he took the money out of a duffel bag and gave it to you. Sometimes in life, brother, shit like that happens. Not everybody was giving the IBF and the WBO and all these people money.
What cost? Then all of a
But
sudden,
at
that
what
drug dealer wants
cost?
to own half of your business. He wants in on what you're making.
That's
And
right.
this was your vision. But the bank wanted to lend you the
Yo,
money.
it's
The bank
echoing.
said you don't got enough credit. But Flacco,
I am somebody. The
Gotta mute
audio's
his TV.
echoing. Yeah, it's your TV.
the
So it's like,
WB,
I can't, I'm not there with everybody say I made up a hypothetical situation. I'm not there with these guys or why they took the envelope of money or what it was. But pressure bugs pipes sometimes in life. And I'm not too sure that I've made all the right decisions in my own life. You know what I mean? I wish I could sit here and be noble and tell you that I wouldn't take the envelope neither. I would be lying.
Edwin, these people, like a lot of people, why they took the envelope? Why? Because that's what business do, and what you will do it too. The one with the N, the one with the I, and everybody else will take that envelope and will take that money and will do the
Yeah.
same shit that they did. The only
Because
problem,
I
people
got
are
the
mad
passion.
because they wasn't that guy.
Right.
They was the guy that have the money and have all the
Right.
connection. That's why they're mad and they're judging that much. This is
Yeah.
business, and what's the
See-
business of boxing like that for freaking 100 years? Okay.
Yeah.
The legacy,
Yeah.
a lot of young people, oh, who care about legacy? Who care? Because they haven't watched all these
Well
fights. They
said from
don't know
someone that
who.
don't got no legacy.
Yeah, somebody that never watched Oscar de la Hoya doing his
Right.
thing. Nobody watched Macho Camacho. Nobody watched Mike Tyson. So a lot of these people that never watched that are saying, legacy doesn't matter, because they've been watching UFC and Dana White
I've
product.
seen all that.
It's okay. Dana
Yeah, but
White
people have been
fought it.
watching UFC and Dana White because boxing hasn't provided those fights for a long
You
time.
right.
You
I
just
never
You
mentioned
right.
watched
Mike
it.
Tyson. You
Malasa, let him
mentioned
I
talk.
fighters
never.
from
Malasa, let him
from
Hey,
30,
one
40
second.
Malasa.
years
No,
ago.
because he's interrupting me. I even finished and he started interrupting me
Okay,
because
okay, go ahead, Malasa.
You talking forever, man.
I never watched UFC in my life because I saw that as trash. For watching UFC, I prefer to watch WWE. But my
Okay, that's
point is,
opinionated. All right.
you
Yep, go
know,
ahead, Malasa. Go ahead,
like
Malasa.
boxing have
Yeah, I
the
don't like tennis.
legacy.
Right,
So
right, right. Okay,
after
Malasa, wait. Stop for a second. All right, my man. You came in. What were you gonna say? Yo,
Oh, I am someone? That's me.
yeah,
I'm
I am
sorry.
someone. It's your turn. Yeah.
No, no. What were we talking about before? I'm sorry. I just got thrown off a little bit off
We
track.
we were talking about like envelopes, the corrupt organizations and the black eyes that some of these belts have, but in
No, we were talking
comparison,
about. I came in for Zufa actually.
yep, Sufo.
That's what it was. And I just want to say, I think we were talking about it before. It's the
Yep,
reason why it took me a little while to get the phone number.
yep,
But you know how we were talking about like 2 months versus the end of the year. You
right.
know, Dana White's not trying to give us anything, not trying to buy us anything. He's asking us to judge him. Now, at the end of the year, we judge him bad or we judge him good, but he's asking us to give us to the end of the year. 2 months, he's already put on 4 cards. Okay, this is the equivalent of Friday night fights on ESPN or on that other channel of
Right.
a long time ago. We saw B Hop come up on,
Mm-hmm.
when he wasn't getting the opportunities. He had
Mm-hmm.
Friday night fights. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Sunday night fights, which I think that's fantastic. It's a Sunday night. We don't have football, whatever. Now we can watch boxing. Now, maybe it's not Tank. Maybe it's not Devin Haney. Okay. But I got to watch Jayo Patai fight a ranked cruiserweight this Sunday night for a title. Now, it was supposed to be the IBF title. They sanctioned it. They went there. They sat with everybody. They took the sanctioning money. They took the per diem. Then they left. And once they left, they decided that they were going to pull because they felt disrespected. Now, they didn't give the reason why they felt disrespected, but I guess they felt that the belt wasn't shown as prominently as the Zufa belt. But Dana said the reason why was because the Zufa belt was up for grabs, but the IBF belt was right in front of Jai with the owner. Afterwards, after the fight, Jai came up and he gave a heartfelt conversation to the camera where he said, I gave my life for this belt. I fought, I won it, I earned it. I defended it 2 or 3 times. This was from my people. They promised me something, and then for them to take the money and then to leave, like that's the crooked part. Dana did everything right to make that happen, to try and give us a championship fight on Sunday night. Okay, they didn't play the ball and they took it away. And then on Monday, they turned around and decided, you know what, we're gonna let him keep his belt anyway. Say what you want to say. Zufa's making waves. They're already putting on good shows. They're doing it with the best they got. They're signing everybody they could get their hands on. And as soon as more fighters become available, you can guarantee that they're going to be signed if nobody wants to compete for them, and they're going to wind up on the cards. They signed I know my nephew fights for them, and I know what you're saying that they don't get endorsements. Well, let me tell you something. They're sharing in endorsements. So if they get Adidas as an endorsement, they're going to share that with the fighters. If they
Correct.
wear Adidas on their uniform, they're going to share that with the fighters.
Correct.
Which I think is better than say like because my nephew, when he wasn't sponsored by anybody, he was getting offers from like local meat markets.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give a lot of money,
All right. Can I answer a couple of your
and that
things?
does help.
I'll let you
But
go on because I want you to get everything, everything you want to say. But we could keep talking, but I got too many things to like,
no,
I
you're right.
didn't
You're
want to
right.
cut you off. I
Yeah.
want to give
I,
you the equal
I want to say one,
opportunity.
one thing, one more thing, my
Yep.
man. I'm a girl dad, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to say about you my condolences, and I respect you very much for
Thank you,
what you
man.
say. I was on that morning when you came on about your daughter, and I cried with you that morning, bro.
Man, it was just overwhelming. But thank you. And then the circle of life got me happy right now, brother. It's entered
Yeah,
new life into me. My son just had
just
twins
oh, that's beautiful, man. God
2
bless.
days ago. So
God
I
bless you.
got he had a girl and a boy, and he named his daughter after his sister that passed away.
It's beautiful.
So I'm going to the hospital later to go pick up the babies and smell them again,
Ah, amen, man.
and
Amen.
that's I think that's what got my spirits up, the
Yeah.
circle of life, and it's like, you know, I
Heck yeah,
love
because
my
you're on
daughter and
fire, bro.
everything
You're
too.
on
Yeah,
fire.
yeah, yeah. So I would just wanted to talk and touch upon a couple things that you were saying about the Sufa thing and
Yes.
everything. One thing for sure, yes, they've given out 4 fights and they've kept it very entertaining. And that much I can't say anything about it. What happened with the IBF situation about them with Jayo Pataya, them taking the money and being, involved with it. I think that the IBF was this close from fucking up. What I actually think that happens, and I have no proof on this, this is all me spitballing hypothetically. I think that the WBC president called the IBF.
Mm,
Mauricio Suleiman called him and told him, "You're
mm,
about to make a horrible mistake. Because if you allow that IBF belt in the ring with the Sufa
mm-hmm,
belt, you're going to give the Sufa belt credibility that they were competing in the same night for the
mm-hmm.
same belt." And I think that the IBF woke up at that moment and they said, "You're right." Because there are other belts that are paying their ways, like the IBO, the European title. There are other belts like the WBO that came a long way and had to pay their ties to boxing to be officially a world title. Sufa's trying to do it on week one. They're trying to take their belt and automatically declare it to be an official world title. Now, we've seen this before in boxing. The PBC made a belt. There's been a lot of belts introduced to boxing, but we don't take them seriously. You got to pay your way. Dana White tried to cut the line. He tried to take the Sufa belt and automatically declare it an official world title and that it had value. What makes these belts valuable, first of all, are not the belts or the men and women that wear them. The
Correct.
dominance of a champion. You must prove to us that you wore this belt, defended it, and represented the organization as a true champion. The
100.
problem with the Sufa belt, it has no history, no legacy. Now, I don't mind starting over. That's not my problem. I'll start over. But don't shit on my belts and tell me that the belts that Ali had, Floyd had, they were garbage. That we came up in a corrupt era and that it was padded records and all this shit. You don't have to say that to
Agree.
demoralize our belts to raise yours.
I agree.
Why
I
don't
think
you
that's where he went wrong.
why don't you just do it the prestigious way? Take your champions, whoop our champions' asses, and prove that you scouted the best talent. Now, that I have no argument.
Yeah.
Right
Now
there,
here's
I accept competition. Had he done it like that, had he took his fighters and through the course of the years
mm,
proved that they can scout, treat the fighters better, that they're happier over there, they're working more, and that they're kicking ass over there, Sufa will swallow boxing.
can I touch on that?
Yes,
I mentioned before that my nephew signed to them. Okay.
yes.
Um, my nephew already won a fight with them.
Mm-hmm. That's your
Um,
Hey,
nephew's name?
what's his name? I want to watch his fight.
uh,
Yeah,
Hammer Hands.
I already what Hammerhands
That's
is your nephew?
Hammerhands.
Hammer Hands,
Yeah, I
my
know
nephew.
Hammerhands.
That's your
All right.
nephew.
That's my
All
nephew,
right, all right.
Rodriguez. So we're in Jersey here. So the thing is, right? He is. If you look at boxing, he's ranked number 8 in the WBA. If you look at Boxing Rec, he's ranked number 7 in the world, number 3 in the
What
or
weight?
number
What weight?
welterweight, number 3 in the USA. Okay. He has been told by Zufa that they are developing a ranking system. And hopefully by mid next year, they will have that developed and he could challenge for the Zufa welterweight title. All right, and they're doing that with all weight classes. They actually use, if you've noticed, they don't have a rankings yet. You know, they're trying to determine all of that.
Yeah, it's new. It's
So
brand new. Yeah.
my only thing with Jai is because I was dumbfounded when they announced they were gonna do the Zufa belt. Is my thing is I just feel like they're trying to bend over backwards to make him happy. He wanted to unify, and every fight that he has fought since the IBF has been a defense of the title, and
Right.
he's looking for other belts. So I just think they wanted to make his fight on Sunday night a little meaningful rather than just a fight for a card for Zufa. But as for all the other weight classes and all the other fighters, they're going through a ranking system to hopefully one day fight for that Zufa belt.
You know,
Rodriguez is ranked in the world, and he has no Zufa ranking.
right. Well, like we said, I mean, they've only given out 4 cards. They only got so many fighters. I don't think you could have a ranking system with 5 fighters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think they
Yep.
got enough fighters in every weight. Now,
Nope.
rumors, Sufa having, an agreement with Robert Garcia. It seems like a lot of Robert Garcia fighters are going to Sufa.
The 360 Productions
Yeah,
promotions, 360 promotions.
right. So, and a lot of things are changing. Then you saw the Jake Paul moving to ESPN, bringing the
Yeah,
girls there.
I'm
Et
excited
cetera.
about that. Actually,
There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm all for it. But the thing is, I just think that you sometimes in life there's certain things that you got to pay your way. You
yeah,
got to really put in your time.
I
I
agree.
think that Sufa's rushing a little too much, and in the first month they already want to be considered like better than Box Lab, better than Pro Box, and they don't even got half the amount of cards they've ever put out. You
Right.
know, and we've had guys come out of Pro Box and become world champion already.
Yeah.
We've already had
I mean,
that.
look at Glatton. Glatton was on Zufa. He
Look,
was on Pro
look,
Box.
look, yeah. Regis Progress too.
Yep.
There's a lot of them so see, Sufa's just cutting the line because they got a lot of money, and it kind of comes off. Yeah, you got a lot of money. You're able to do a lot of things fast, and is it because you got a lot of money? And then what hurt me was, I don't think for as much as Sufa wants to help boxing, regulate boxing, change boxing, there's a lot of things they dropped the ball on. And one of the things was the belt, the design of the Sufa belt. And in our boxing sport, our belts allow us to put our legacy and our history on our belts.
Mm-hmm.
You start off like this with it plain, then you start to fill this in. They start to add more diamonds, and
You can add diamonds on the
I
Zufa
agree.
belt.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
but the
it
Zufa
speaks to
belt.
your legacy.
Did you
It,
watch the UFC fight this weekend? It looks exactly like the BMF belt.
Yeah, exactly. Right. The baddest motherfucker belt. It looks
Yep.
just like that. But and then your design flaw. First of all, we don't fight in an octagon. Why do you got it shaped like that? Then you didn't even go with the traditional structure. If you don't notice, all these belts are different colors. They got different things on it, but they're the same structure. There's one thing that they all got in common. They're all round. All the faces are round. Whatever design, but round,
Mm.
not a fucking octagon. Then, like with Terrence Crawford, when you see Terrence Crawford's super belt or Naoya Inoue super WBO title, this white part turns gold. They put a ribbon underneath. They show your history right here. Sufa says you could defend that belt 20 times, and the 20 times you defend it, it stays the same. Then the second thing they went wrong was
That's not true though.
wait,
Bam,
check,
bam.
check it out. Check it out. Where on the Sufa belt can you put your history?
You can put diamonds on the belt. You can keep adding to it.
Yeah,
They
those
have
are
it
the
on the belt.
victories.
Yeah.
The
For like,
defenses.
you're talking about what Dana White did to not give belts like when Mighty Mouse won, Dana White owed him 11 belts. He had to send him 11 belts. Instead of taking away the cost of making the champion a new belt every time, what he's saying is we're going to put diamond stones like the gemstones, a yellow,
Yeah.
blue, red diamonds in your belt so that I don't have to buy you a new belt every time you fight. What a cheap motherfucker. right? Well, in these belts, you'll get a new belt if you want, and you'll be able to add your legacy to it. So when you're in the ring, the guy's looking across to you. He's going, damn, that guy defended his belt 3 or 4 times. Look at the belt. You could read it. It changes. The WBC, when you defend it 5 times, these rings become diamonds. You see how Floyd got the one like this that the pitcher fell out? You ever notice how they change? Those are title defenses. You ever notice how diamonds start implementing in the inside? Those are title defenses. A super WBA title doesn't even look like this. Gervonta Davis's belt got 2 huge lions, like this big side to side. This is the regular version. Then you got the super version of the belt. They care about the legacy of the fighters. This is a trophy. When you come out every time, you're supposed to show it off. When I beat you for your belt, tradition means I'm supposed to take a picture with the belt you created. I beat that kind of champion. At the end, in the locker room, the ceremony is complete. When I go to your locker room and give you your belt back, that belongs to you. That's for your memories. That's your trophy. Then the organization sends me my brand new clean one. And I start my own legacy. But whatever champion you beat, you're supposed to wear his belt in the ring. Because that's what kind of champion you just beat. Then you start over from scratch and you make your own legacy. The UFC forgot that part about belt history. They were too quick on building their organization that they didn't care about the design of the belt. It speaks to me, you're not in it for the legacy of boxing. You're in it for a business. You're trying to make money. You're not paying attention to the rich history of boxing, tradition. You're trying to kill our traditions, knock off what we made, and you're giving us a silver belt. Silver is represented for second place all over the world. You get the silver medal. That's second place. You should have made your belt gold, like in the UFC, at least. Like everything
A
was
lot of this
wrong.
petty. A lot of this is kind of like tit for tat, though. Like if it's gold, then what? I mean,
It's the best.
What's the color? What's the color of the Super Bowl trophy?
Yeah, but we're not playing in a competitive sport against countries. The Super Bowl only plays against Americans.
It's whoever nationality it is. All the teams are in America, but you have other nationalities that play on those teams.
No, football is only played one world place on the planet, and it's in America. That's it.
Yeah, all the 32 football teams are in America, yes.
We only play America against America, and it's only one trophy, and they can paint it any way. But when you go to the Olympics...
But you're talking about first and second place, though. That's what you're talking about. See,
right. Okay, because... No. You might not understand what I'm talking about, so let me explain it to you. The reason why I feel like that, because quiet is kept... boxing is like the Olympics. It's America versus Japan, America versus Puerto Rico. Actuality, Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis, all Terrence Crawford, they're all on the same team. They represent America's flag. When we're competing for the gold. That's why they made the belts gold in the first place. Because when you leave the amateurs and you leave out of the Olympics, you go into the professional Olympics, which is boxing. We play against every country in the world. We just don't view it like that because you've been Americanized. See, your whole life you were brought to pick your favorite American team, pick one guy against them, and put him against another American guy. You see no wrong in that. But in boxing, we're actually competing against every other country and nation. You're supposed to be cheering for America, and you got to cheer for all the American fighters, even though in publicity we attack each other. But Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, they're on the same team. They represent America. And it's like, if you don't get the gold, then go fight for the WBC silver. It's like the goal. It's like the Olympics, but we don't view it like that because we're Americans and we've been Americanized. We've been taught our whole life to attack each other, to talk shit about each other. We talk shit about LeBron James and Michael Jordan. They're two American athletes. Rather than saying they're the best, we put them against each other. Rather than putting Michael Jordan against the best Filipino basketball player, the best Russian, the best Jamaican, the best Mexican, the best Puerto Rican. Let's see who's better then. But that's how we're bred out here. So we no longer view boxing as a global sport.
Michael Jordan is the best because he played in the best league, and with all the best players. He's he's the best.
You mean he's the best because he played in the American League?
The NBA is the pound for pound.
Where's it played at?
On the planet.
Where's it played at?
It's played in the U.S.
Okay, then.
You know what? Since I watch a lot of sports, what's the #1 soccer league in the world? Do you know it?
UK, Brit, London, Wales. I don't know what.
English Premier League is the #1 league. The second league is La Liga. That's the Spanish league.
Okay, I don't know nothing about soccer, brother, but I'll take your word for it.
No, but you said I'm so Americanized. So I mean, let's bring it to the European, right? I mean, so in soccer, it's a world sport.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there.
There's a lot of leagues.
Okay, stop right there. Stop right there.
Ahead.
Being Americanized doesn't mean that you just watch American things. Being Americanized is the way that we're raised and installed by the things we see in America. That's what I mean by that. You could be an American and be very educated or well-versed in sports all around the world, know cricket, know everything. You would just still be Americanized. Okay, it's Americanized isn't mean that you just support of everything American. I'm American, and my favorite fighter is Japan, Naoya Inoue. But I'm Americanized. I know that. I'm a product of my environment. I'm an American that's seen a lot of shit. I'm not easily impressed. You're not just gonna tell me a sad story because fucking America taught me this shit. But I'm also on the verge of, I see how they mold us. They put Kobe Bryant against Michael Jordan. They put fucking Brady against fucking Eli Manning. And they make us pick who's the best in our sports, and we engage as fans, right? But when a sport comes around like boxing or swimming, Olympic swimming or gymnasts, we're competing against other countries, and we get lost because we're so hyper-focused on the way we view sports that when a global sport comes, we don't know how to view it. We take Devin Haney and we say, man, Devin Haney's the best. Fuck Brian Norman Jr. You're saying fuck America. I mean, he represents America. We're fighting to bring the belts back to America. When Japan beats us, they take the belts back home. When Mexico beats us, they take the belts back home. When the UK beats us, where did Dalton Smith go? He went back home with the belt. They celebrate him out there. That doesn't do nothing for us.
See, look, I'm from America, but if you're telling me the best fighters are in Japan or the best UFC or MMA
I never said
fighters,
that.
No. I'm gonna tell you this. If the best, I watch a lot of these sports. So if the best UFC fighters are in Russia and Dagestan, then so be it. They're the best. I want them to hold that title if they are the best.
Yes, me too.
Care. I don't have an interest in what color you are, what race you are, what ethnicity, like none of that. I want to know who's the best.
Yes.
That's it.
That's all I want to know.
I'm not.
I don't
you know what's
care.
So crazy about me? I don't even root for fighters. I don't even root for like, oh, I want to see this fighter win this fight. I want to see this fighter win this fight. I just want to see the best fight, the best. I want to see the best collide. That's all.
Well. To a certain degree, yes. I'm with you. Everything you said is 100. And the best fighting, the best statement, I'm like halfway with you on that one because there's reality. Now, reality is you can't do the best fighting the best back to back. I wouldn't recommend that.
Why not?
Imagine having 5, 6 fights of that same fighter continuously fighting the best they have to offer all 6 times. Bro, his brain will probably be mush. You got to fight one best guy, have a mediocre fight in there, and then throw another big fight, and then one fight okay right in there, and then one big fight. I wouldn't recommend going the best. Bro, your career is not gonna last that long. You're gonna be brain dead. Okay? That's tough to do in reality. But to get the mega fights when they build up, don't make us wait 5 years for it. That I'm in agreement with you. I want to see when the time comes, put the best fighting the best. Not consecutively, but when we want it, when you're already there. You need to give it to us then. Okay. So, and then as far as what you said about, I don't care what skin color, me neither. I fucking love Naoya Inoue. He's a Japanese fighter. I applaud his success. He takes the belt. He brings him back to Japan. I understand that. Right? I'm not saying that, but I don't forget who I am. I'm an American. I'm U.S. This is my side. Every American fighter, every belt we get, we bring back home. I fucking love it. And when we're competing, there's a small part of me that if anybody was to beat the Japanese dude, I wish it was an American dude, right? Because I'm on the line, fair competition. Whether you win, lose, or I like you because of what kind of fighter you were. You know, your dominance, whatever attracted me to you, your fighting style. And I don't care what color you are. I don't care what language you speak. Naoya Inoue doesn't speak English, and I understand him. Why? Because he kicks ass. That's all I care about. But as a competitive, I have a boxing channel. I report what countries are leading the way, and we have fun with it. Yo, we got belts, yo, you know what I'm saying? It's not so personal, but I do keep track of it. I want to be on top. The Mexicans want to be on top. Japan wants to be on top. Russia wants to be on top. And they keep track of the belts. So since I have a boxing channel, so don't I. And I love the competition. I'm not butthurt. And hey, if he beats us, he beats us. When my Puerto Rican fighter fell not once but twice to 2 European fighters, I commend it. Dalton Smith, what was his name? He beat Sabria Matias, Liam Paro. I applauded Liam Paro and them because they beat us fair and square. They took the belt. There's nothing I can say. They got a belt now. But we coming for that motherfucker. We coming for y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we keep the healthy boxing shit talking going. But nothing ever personal. And every man has the right to change their stars. I don't give a fuck where you come from or walk of life. If you can kick ass, you stay dedicated to the sport, I'm going to acknowledge you. There's something about this sport that I really don't like that turns me off. That every American fighter that comes out copies and prints the next guy. The gold chain, the women, the talking shit. And less we see them in the ring. We need to teach our kids better. Forget the facade, the honor of fighting another man. You know how many friends I've made after I fought them? Was in the boys club in the locker room, didn't know this kid, talking shit to him before it, but he went in there and he earned my respect. We became cool after a fight because as a warrior, I see him now. And not until you showed me that you wasn't a bitch. Bro, you fought me. And it was like the honor in sharing the battlefield. There's honor in that. Why do we have to be like, fuck your baby's mom, she's in my DM, fuck your kid? Why do we have to be so down, like distasteful as Americans? We feel
I
like
agree.
bring that
Oshaki Foster and Shakur Stevenson. I don't know if you go on Twitter. They do this every week. It seems like yesterday they did it again, talking shit about each other.
Really?
I mean, if it, yeah, they. I mean, I'm honestly sick of this the Twitter back and forth. I mean, these dudes just need to get in there and fight if it's that much bad blood. Like, I mean,
Yeah, like
I agree with you with that. Like, but yeah, I mean, look, like with the fighting back to back fighters, yeah, like look, I respect Thomas Hearns, right? I respect Roberto Duran and all those fighters, Hagler and all them, right? Like those are one of I look at them as some of the best fighters ever. But these dudes, the way that they move their career, they're never gonna eclipse those fighters because they don't fight the best.
yo, you really try to like make me feel better by saying it's not silver, it's platinum. Are you fucking crazy? Yo, listen, that's like my boy, right? Tobe. He comes up to me, right? This is years ago, right? He comes up, yo, Ed, I bought this $8,000 chain and the shit's silver. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, why would you? He goes, no, Edwin, it's white gold. So you would have to tell me that it's white gold rather than silver. Or you would have to tell me that it's platinum rather than silver. Now, if you were a movie star or a rapper, you would have to assume. So they get away with wearing real silver and you think it's real platinum. You see what I'm saying? So the silver element for some people, I know people that prefer silver over gold. They look better in silver for some reason. They're those kind of people. But I rather stick with gold traditionally. When I got my hands like this, my shit looks gold. Imagine my bracelet being platinum, and the whole time you guys think it's silver. That's why I never went that way. I just stuck with I was like, gold is gold. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, you're not gonna fool me with that because, first of all, none of these belts are real gold or anything. They're just gold plated over metal. So even if you told me what is that platinum plated over a fucking hubcap, it's not like real solid platinum. If it would be that, it would be valuable. So that didn't cheer me up. To turn it from silver to platinum, it didn't make the belt look any better. The design in the belt is flawed. We don't fight in a UFC cage. That shit looks like a WWE belt. Like a red. Yo, that shit looks like this. Tell me that shit don't look like this right now. Look at the screen. That is the original UFC
That's the
belt.
original UFC, yeah.
And this belt, where did they get the design? From Brock Lesnar's belt in the WWE. Just look at it real good. All they changed was the letters. They didn't even invent their own real belt. Hold up, I knocked some shit out. Now I can't hear shit. Oh, it's here. So they didn't even invent their own belt. They took the design of an old belt. This is fucking you know whose original belt is? That dude. Whoa! What was his name?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair. This is Ric Flair's. Look at it. Tell me that's not Ric Flair's belt. They just put the UFC shit on it. Same.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I'm not caught up like with the design of it. I just want to know like who's the guy, really. Like,
yeah. But
just
who the guy is,
for me.
who the guy is, doesn't always get the recognition unless you prove it. Because and then weight limits determine it. Because in boxing, we have things called the glamour divisions. Unfortunately, if you're not in the glamour divisions, you're not really considered. Like the smaller guys got to do double the work. Naoya Inoue, in my opinion, is the best fighter we have right now with the exit of Terrence Crawford. He's the best pound for pound fighter we have. But is he viewed like that by many? No, because a lot of big men don't respect little guys because they have big men complex. They can't understand. I don't care how many skills you got. You're not whooping. See, because it's true. Naoya Inoue can't beat Usyk. Even though he's better than Usyk's skill, He's just too small. So no matter how much skill he has at a certain height, none of your skills are going to matter. I'm still going to knock you out. You see? So that's why we have weight limits. Now, 130, 135, 140, 147, 154, sometimes 160. We haven't had real middle weights anymore, right? Those are the glamour divisions and the heavyweight division. Those are the 6 divisions that are the glamour divisions. And if you're asking yourself, why are they considered the glamour divisions? Why? What makes them so special? This is why. In the heavyweight division, there is the most power in boxing. You don't have a lot of skills. Those men are so big, one punch can knock you out. Any heavyweight guy will punch you once. It's probably going to knock you out if you can catch him, right? That's where all the power's at. The lowest weight division, there's no power. That's where all the speed is at 105. Those guys are like lightning in the bottle. They can go 12 rounds like this, throwing 1,000 punches. But there's usually no knockouts. Where power meets speed at the perfect balance and weights are 130 to 140, 47. That's where the human body is able to be fast enough and strong enough to give you the same kind of action, but with power. And the only reason why the heavyweight is because it's the best belt on the planet. There's no other belt besides the heavyweight championship of the world. That's the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. Why? Tell Terrence Crawford to whoop Usyk's ass. I'll be right here. It's not going to happen. The heavyweight champion is the heavyweight champion for a reason. He's the best fighter in the fucking planet. Will knock out anyone.
He was a cruiserweight at one point as well.
Yeah.
Just not too long ago.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's the circle of life in boxing. That's the tree. That's the way things are set up. That's the way things are. You know, unfortunately, I would like Naoya Inoue to be a household name. Unfortunately, he's Japan. If Naoya Inoue was a brother or Puerto Rican and he lived in fucking America or in Puerto Rico or wherever, and we would know him, I believe he would be the fucking next best thing since sliced bread. But he's not.
It's funny because it's really just a lot of people who he's fighting, the fans or the casual fan, they don't respect the guys because they don't know the guys.
Yeah, exactly. They just don't know them. Because if you're saying a fighter like Naoya Inoue ain't fighting nobody, that just means that you're just listening to other people and you're taking their word for it. You haven't done any of your research, because people would know that if they followed this guy, they would know he fought 16 world champions. He knocked out 13 of them. So how could you fight nobody but fought 16 world champions?
Exactly.
You see, now for instance, you look at Devin Haney. In Devin Haney's entire career, he fought 9 world champion and knocked out 0. You do know this, right?
Yep.
So when
Devin Haney hasn't had a knockout since 2019.
Okay, so Devin Haney fought 9 world champions, but yet Devin Haney is a bigger star and allegedly better than Naoya Inoue that fought 16 world champions and knocked out 13 of them. And then
if anybody says that, they don't know.
See, that's the problem. When they say Naoya Inoue is not fighting nobody, it's just nobody because you don't know. You haven't followed him. They're smaller weight divisions, and I get it. But, just don't read the book by its cover. I'm pretty sure if somebody met you in life in person, the image that they see is not the man you are. If they was to sit down and have a conversation with you, they would get to know you, right? Okay, same thing with Naoya Inoue. You don't know much about this guy, but yet you hear someone else talking about him and you took their word for it. But remarkably, every time you see him, he's kicking ass. You gotta identify when shit's not adding up. That's when you start to question something, because a lot of people lost money in that Stephen Kubo Fulton fight. Let me tell you, they dressed up that Stephen Kubo Fulton like this Japanese dude was a hype job, and that he was fighting nobody in that top rank, and Bob Arum was managing him well. They had no idea that Naoya Inoue is probably one of the only boxers I know that in his contract he has a clause that he can only fight the best fighters in the world. He said that if the promoting company was to break that law and can't prove why he has to fight the next guy, that it non-invoids his contract legally.
That's what I want every
You
fighter to
must
do, though. But you
get
said
him the best fighting the best. Now, Naoya Inoue tried it. He went after, in only 6 professional fights, he fought for a world title. The next guy, he fought for a world title. He has 28 consecutive world title fights in a row. In a row. No breaks. Jumping between 4 weight divisions. And he bypassed 2 and fought Jamie McDonald, the European champion, right away. No tune-up fights. Only using world champions as stepping stones. The Japanese dude, right? Okay. So when he fought fighters like TJ Doheny, Yi Young Kim, Roman Cardenas, those fighters were never supposed to fight Naoya anyway. Those were late replacements to guys that ducked them. Sam Goodman cut his eye twice to avoid from fighting him. So a 10-day late replacement, Yi Young Kim, came in. When Sam Goodman was supposed to fight him the first time, he opted out. TJ Doheny stepped in because the number 1 ranked guy kept avoiding him. You see? So Inoue went and fought Luis Neri, was the number 1. Alan David Picasso was the number 1. MJ was the mandatory. And he's on 7. He's going to go on his 7th consecutive 4-belt title defense. 7. He defended all 4 belts 7 times. When Saul had the 4 belts, he defended the belts, jumped up weight divisions, jumped down a weight division, went back up, no title defenses, came back, got a title defense. He even counted a title defense with the Charlo twin that wasn't in his weight division that tried to jump up too. That Terrence Crawford did it, right? So, but Inoue's fighting guys in his division. People that made it up the ranking officially earned the right to get the mandatory spot or the number 1 spot. Then he says, I'll fight you because you're the number 1. He can't fight himself because he has all the belts. So the only closest thing he can do is fight the number 1 because there's only 1 king in his division. That's him. That's dominance, bro. But a lot of people don't see him. He's too small. 122, they don't see him. But I can only judge him for what he's doing at his job. Ain't that some bullshit? You at work, right? And your boss comes in and tells you, you know what? You ain't doing a good job in the building across the street. Motherfucker, I don't work there. I work here. Why are you telling me about the building across the street? Naoya Inoue fights at 122. Why are you telling me he's not the best if he doesn't fight Tank Davis? Why are you telling me that he's not better than Terrence Crawford? Why are we comparing them? They're in 2 separate weight divisions. Give me something real. Why don't you like him, or why don't you just don't watch? Fine, then just don't watch him. But don't say he doesn't suck. You know, it's crazy. Like, let me tell you something. Anybody that laces it up, gets in the ring, and takes punches to the face, I respect you. Period. I respect you. I respect you for what you give, the contribution to the sport, and your sacrifice, keeping the sport alive. Thank you for that. Thank you for having people like me to make channels and have something to talk about. And thank you, my man, and everybody that came up here today and shared their opinions and their views on everything. And we'll talk later on tonight. I'm probably going on at 7:30. And I'm going to cut this live stream right here short. I just wanted to get in and touch on a few things. And we had a good one here today, man. Yo, thank you. I am someone, everybody. Malasa, my boy Malasa. Thank you, Malasa, for, allowing these guys to talk for today. Malasa, we'll be back on tonight. You one of the guys. Let the new guys talk though. I'll see you tonight. And then and thank you for you coming on today too. And talking things through.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It was good to talk about the differences and whatnot. I'll definitely check the live later. I think you muted right now. All right. I don't know if you. All right, bro. I can't hear you. It's muted, but yeah, yeah. All right. Salute, man. Salute.